Good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
Good morning,
Good morning.
teacher.
Good morning, teacher.
Teacher.
Okay, so let us bow down our heads and pray. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, as we gather virtually, we ask for your presence in your online class. Grant us focus and understanding. Bless our teachers with wisdom and help us connect with kindness and respect. We thank you for this opportunity to learn and grow, and we dedicate this time for your guidance. Amen. Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen.
All right, so let's sing this together. I know you're familiar with this song. So teachers, can you sing together with me as well? All right, so one, two, three, go. Hello, 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 hello. How do you do? Everybody,
Time.
all right, so good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Karil, and together with me we have.
Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Nietzsche.
Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Claire.
Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Jade.
Good morning, class. I am teacher Jackie.
Good morning, class. I am Teacher Ruby.
Good morning, class. I'm teacher Julian.
Hello, class. I am teacher Jenny.
Good morning, everybody. I am Teacher Charv.
And we are
And
your
we are your
assignment
assigned
teachers for
For
today.
today.
All right, now, class, for your attendance, I want you to comment down your favorite food.
All right, so thank you so much, teacher. So now, before we proceed to our next topic, in order for me to know if you really paid attention to our discussion last meeting, who can tell me where we stopped last meeting? Can I have Faith?
Yes, good morning, teacher. So, based on my notes here and what I remember, last meeting we stopped at the visible light absorption, transmission, and reflection, teacher. So, if you say absorption, it happens when the light is taken in and turned into heat. Like, for example, teacher, a black t shirt which absorbs sunlight and it feels warm. Next is we also have the transmission in which when the light passes through something like how the sunglasses let let some light through so we can see. And lastly is the reflection, teacher, which happens when the light bounces off an object. A good example for this one is a mirror, teacher, in which it reflects light so we can see our reflection. So that's it, teacher.
Well done, Faith. So it seems like you really understood and paid attention to our discussion last meeting. So now, to proceed, I'm going to give you to teacher Ruby.
Thank you so much, Teacher Julia. Now, class, are you ready to proceed into another topic? Do you still remember the chant? Are you ready, class? Everybody. Yes,
Yes,
we are
we're
ready.
very, very
Ready. Again, are you
ready.
ready, class?
Yes.
Yes,
All right, very good. Now, let's proceed to the next topic. What have you seen in the video? Teacher Jade, kindly play the video, please. Now, yes, Chris, what have you seen in the video?
I see lightning, teacher.
Very good. It's a lightning. Now, have you ever seen lightning in the sky? Do you know that lightning is electricity traveling through air? Do you know, class?
No,
No,
teacher.
teacher.
No, teacher.
No, teacher.
All right. So, most of the time, air does not let electricity pass through it. But in special situations like lightning, electricity can move through gases. Let's see how that works. Next slide, Teacher Jade. When we say electrical discharge, this is the passage of electricity through a gas at a low pressure. But teacher, how does lightning works? When clouds rub together, they build up a huge electric charge. When the charge becomes too strong, it jumps through the air as a lightning bolt. Again, when I say the passage of electricity through a gas at a low pressure is called, can I have
Electrical
someone?
Electrical
Electrical
discharge,
All
teacher.
right, very good. It is electrical discharge. And lightning is an example of electrical conduction through gases. Again, lightning is an example of everybody.
Electrical
Electrical
electrical conduction through
conduction.
gases.
Very good. Now, next slide, please, Teacher Jade. What have you seen in the picture, class? Yes, Igay.
I see a tip of a pencil, teacher.
Okay, very good. Now, what do you think is in the tip of a pencil? Yes, Rochelle.
Is it a graphite, teacher?
Very good. Graphite is a weak conductor just like semiconductors. Next slide, please. Now, when we say semiconductors, these are the materials that have conductivity between conductors and insulators. Again, when we say semiconductors, these are the materials that have conductivity between conductors and insulators. But what is the second conductors? Next slide, please. What do you think is in the picture? Yes, Val.
A MRI machine, teacher.
Very good. MRI machines is a good conductors just like superconductors. That is the second conductors. Next slide, please. When we say superconductors, these are the materials that are, when cooled below a critical temperature, lose all electrical resistance and become perfect conductors. Now, to differentiate the semiconductors and superconductors, let's see the next slide, please. Now, in semiconductors, the electrical conductivity is partial conductivity, while the superconductors is the perfect conductivity. In the temperature range, the semiconductors has wide range, and in the superconductor, it has low temperature. In the resistance, the semiconductors has non-zero resistance, while the superconductors has the zero resistance. And lastly, the energy gap, semiconductor has small energy gap and superconductors has large energy gap. Now, when I say it has zero resistance, it is
Superconductor.
very good. How about when I say it has partial conductivity? Can I have someone? Yes, Desiree.
Semiconductor, teacher.
Very good. When I say it has non-zero resistance. Yes, Jenny-Beth.
Semiconductor, teacher.
Very good. And when I say it has perfect conductivity, Lakno.
Superconductor, teacher.
Very good. And that ends my topic for today. Now I may give you to teacher Julian.
All right, thank you so much, Teacher B. So, good morning once again, class. Are you now ready to proceed?
Yes, we are ready. Very, very
Very,
Very
ready.
very
ready.
ready.
All right, thank you so much for that. So now let us proceed. So I'd like to ask everyone, have you been or have you ever sat on a inside a car during a hot day and noticed that it feels much hotter inside than outside? So have you tried? Yes, Desiree agreed. She said she already tried sitting in a car on a hot day and she notices that it feels much hotter than outside. So why do you think this happened? Can I have Micaela?
Um, I think it happens, teacher, because the sun's heat get inside, but it can't get out easily.
Very good. That's a great observation. So why can't it get out easily? Igay, why do you think so?
I think it's because the windows trap the heat inside so the car gets hotter.
Exactly. So can you proceed to the next slide, please, Teacher Jade? All right. So that's uh that's very good observation, class. So what's happening inside the car during a hot summer day is similar to what happens to our Earth. So this is called the greenhouse effect. So are you ready now to learn about how it keeps our Earth warm? All right. So it seems like everyone's ready. So next slide, please. So now what can you see in the picture? Suntusidad, what can you see in the picture?
Um, man teacher, in a blanket.
All right, very good. So, one, I would like to ask everyone who here uses blankets at night when they sleep. Do you use blankets? Wow, I also use blankets to keep myself warm during a cold night, especially in this kind of weather that we have now. So, what do you think is the job of the blanket when we use it at night? So, do you agree that its job is to trap our body heat so we can keep warm all night? Do you agree? All right, so you agree. So Earth also has its own blanket. So it is made of gases like carbon dioxide and methane. So this blanket, just like the just like how it helps us to keep warm, it also helps the Earth trap some of the sun's heat so our planet doesn't get too cold. So what do you think would happen if the Earth didn't have this heat blanket? Desiree, what do you think?
I think, teacher, it would be super cold and we wouldn't survive.
All right, very good. What else? Can I have Jessa?
Um, I think, teacher, maybe all the plants and also animals would freeze.
Very good, especially in the Philippines that we usually have a hot weather. What else? Can I have Rayan Saldua?
We wouldn't have warm weather or liquid water, teacher.
Exactly. So without the greenhouse effect, our Earth would be too cold for life. So do you think that greenhouse effect can help us? Does it help us? Open your mic. Can you do you agree that the greenhouse effect can help us?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
All right. Yes, it is indeed a big help for all of us. But now here's the problem. So next slide, please. All right. So here's the problem. People nowadays are adding more and more greenhouse gases into the air. So when we say greenhouse gases, where uh where does this came from? So it came from the cars, the factories, and by cutting down trees. So by doing this, or the by through the gases that we get from cars, factories, and by cutting trees, they all release um, extra carbon dioxide. So it makes the Earth blanket too thick. So this means that if too much heat gets trapped and the earth starts warming, this is now called what? Do you have any idea? If greenhouse effect help our earth to become warm, what happens if it gets if it gets too much heat? So this is already called global warming. So what do you think happens when earth gets too hot? Wow, Ellaraine, do you have any idea?
There will be more storms and floods, teacher.
Exactly. So warmer temperatures can cause stronger storms and more rain. So since the air and ocean gets hotter, hurricanes and typhoons can become more powerful. So it leads to dangerous floods and damage to our homes and cities. What else? What do you think happens when our earth gets too hot? Valerie, do you have any idea?
Some animals, teachers like polar bears, might lose their homes.
Exactly. So animals like polar bears, penguins, and seals rely on ice for survival, right? Right. So when the ice melts, they lose their homes and have a harder time finding foods. So that would lead to many animals may even become endangered or extinct if their habitats disappear. So can I have another answer? Last student. May I have Erica?
I think, teacher, it would be difficult to grow food in some places because it's too hot, teacher.
Yes, that is very true. So when temperature rises too much, it can become difficult to grow crops. So some areas may get too dry while others may have too much rain, right? So this means that farmers may struggle to grow enough food for everyone. So this can lead to food shortages, higher prices, and hunger in many parts of our world. So next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. All right. So now, when Earth gets too hot because of too many greenhouse gases, it affects everything, right? As what your classmates said earlier. So it really can affect everything. It can affect the animals, the plants, and us, the people. So I want you to remember that even after this, we can all still do something to help slow down global warming and protect our planet. So what are the things that we can do? Can someone read what's on the screen? The first one, Mary Faith.
Use less fossil fuel, teacher.
All right, use less fossil fuel. So what do we mean by this? So if possible, if you have time, you can walk, bike, or carpool. So instead of all right. So how about the next one? Can I have Iturma?
Use clean energy.
All right. So, what are examples of clean energy? Those are the solar panels and wind energy. And then the last one is reduce, reuse, and recycle. So, what does this mean in order to help our planet? I mean, our Earth. So, this means that less weight. Less waste is equal to less pollution. So as much as possible, let's do recycle our things if possible. So do you understand? All right. So do you now understand what is the help of greenhouse effect?
Yes,
Yes.
teacher.
Right.
Yes,
Do you
teacher.
also now understand what happened if there's too much greenhouse effect?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
yes,
Yes,
Right.
teacher.
So now are you excited to help our earth? What like what exactly can you see on your screen? Like use less fossil fuels, use clean energy, and reduce, reuse, recycle. Do you want to be part of this?
Yes,
Yes,
teacher.
Yes,
teacher.
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
So
Yes,
I guess you now understand the greenhouse effect. So that would be the end of my part. So I will now give you to the next reporter. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much, Teacher Julian. Next slide, please. Okay, so today, class, I have some interesting objects with me. So let's take a look. And can anyone tell me what these objects are? Yes, Elaine?
Flashlight, radio, magnet, paper clip, lamp, nail, and what is call this one? I think that's all, teacher.
Okay, so we also have a paper. That's a paper, Elaine. But anyways, thank you so much. So, Elaine is correct. So that is a flashlight, a radio, a magnet, a paper clip, a nail, a lamp, and a paper as well. So now, class, I want you to look at these objects carefully. So, what do you think they have in common? So, I want you to sort these objects into two groups based on what you think they have in common. Okay? Yes, can we have Francis?
I think the flashlight, radio, and also the lamp. And for the other group is magnet, paperclip, nail, and paper.
Okay, so you mentioned flashlight, radio, and a lamp. So, what do they have in common?
I think they use electricity,
All
while
right, very
the
good. Yes, go
other
on.
group uses
Yes,
the
Francis.
other the other group uses I think magnetism or affected by magnetism.
All right, that is a good observation there, Francis. So, based on Francis' answer, what do you think is our lesson for today? Yes, Baby J?
I think it is about electricity and magnetism, teacher.
All right, let's see if that is correct. Next slide, please. Great job. So, our lesson for today is about electricity and magnetism. So, next slide, please. So, as you can see on your screen, you can see there the flashlight, the lamp, and the radio. And Francis mentioned that the common in those pictures is that they use electricity. So, now based on what Francis said, what do you think electricity is? Based on your observation, based on the pictures, what is electricity? Yes, Aldoa.
Electricity is the power that makes things work.
All right, great job. So that is correct. Electricity is the power that makes things work. So basically, it lights up our homes, it runs our gadgets, and even powers the classroom. So um, I know that in your room there or in your area there, you can you can see a lamp or you can even see the fluorescent. So when you're going to turn that on, it basically uses electricity. So that is electricity. So again, it makes things work. It lights up our homes, it runs our gadgets, and even powers our room. So next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide, please. All right, thank you so much. So, as you can see, we have there the magnet, the nail, and the paper clip. So they are affected by what? They are affected by, again, yes,
Magnetism, teacher.
very good.
Magnetism.
Very good. They are affected by magnetism. So next slide, please. Okay, that is correct. Magnetism. Okay, so everyone, can you please read? No. Yes, everyone, can please read.
Magnetism is a central point in the source of electricity or magnetism or electricity.
All right, very good. So when we say magnetism, it is something or an invisible force that pulls or repels certain things towards a magnet. Now let's think, where do we see electricity and magnetism in our daily lives? Can you please can you give an example where do we can see electricity or like magnetism in our daily life? Yes, Faith?
By using our phones, teacher.
All right, that is correct. Another answer? Yes, D?
By using lights, teacher.
Yes, good job. Anyone else? Yes, Jonaline.
I think turning on a fan, teacher.
Very good as well. Last one. Who wants to add? Yes, Villahermosa.
I think it's the refrigerator magnets, teacher, or fridge magnets.
Yes, good job. So that is right, class. All of your answers are correct. So electricity and magnetisms are all around us, making our lives easier. Now, at this time, I want you, or we are going to play a quick game. So all you have to do is to guess whether it is electricity or magnetism. So I will show some pictures or some objects. So it will be just a short or a quick game. So if you want to answer, if you have the answer, all you have to do is to raise your virtual hand. Okay? Now, next slide, please. All right. So number one, is it electricity or magnetism? Yes, Romel.
Magnetism, teacher.
All right. Let's see if that is correct. Next slide, please. Good job, Romel. That is magnetism. How about in the second picture? Yes, Chris.
I think it is electricity, teacher.
Okay, so let's see if that is correct. Next slide. Very good. That is electricity. And how about on the third object? Is it electricity or magnetism? Yes, Valerie?
Electricity, teacher.
Okay, so Teacher Jenny, can you please check if that is electricity? I mean, Teacher Jade? Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Jade. That is electricity. Now, next slide, please. Okay, so on the fourth one, is it electricity or magnetism? Can we have Erica?
I think it's magnetism, teacher.
Okay, let's see if that is correct. Good job. That is magnetism. How about on the last object? Is it magnetism or electricity? Yes, Naldoza?
Magnetism, teacher.
Okay, Teacher Jade, is it magnetism or electricity? Very good. That is magnetism. So great job, class, and you've really answered very well. You were able to identify whether the certain object is under magnetism or electricity. Now, since you've learned or you've mastered how electricity make things work and like our gadgets and lights, we also know as well the magnets that pulls a certain objects like the paper clips and nails. But what if I am going to tell you that electricity and magnetism are actually connected? So what do you think if we're going to combine electricity and magnetism? We can form like what? We can form anyone who have idea? Yes, Michaela.
I think it's electromagnetism, teacher.
Okay, so let's check. That is if that is correct. Teacher Jade. Good job. So that is called electromagnetism. So Teacher Jade, can you please next slide? Okay, so class, let me tell you a story. So a long time ago, in a year 1820, a scientist named Hans Christian Ørsted was teaching his students about electricity. So basically, he wanted to show them what electricity is and what magnetism were not related. But guess what? He was wrong by accident. So, um, the what happened here is while demonstrating, he actually noticed that when he placed a wire with an electric current near a compass, the needle moved. So this means that electricity can create a magnetic field. So basically, this discovery leads to the invention of electromagnets, which are magnets that work only when electricity flows through them. Next slide, Teacher Jade. All right, so later in the 1831, as you can see on your screen, Michael Faraday, so he is a English scientist. So he made an even bigger discovery. So he found out that a moving magnet can generate electricity. So this is how power plants or like generators generate the electricity that we use every day. So key, the key takeaway there, guys, is in class is when we say electricity, so electricity can create magnetism, and when we say magnetism, it can create electricity. So basically, it's like a vice versa. So electricity can create magnetism, and magnetism can create electricity. Now let's take a look at this simple experiment. Can you please next slide, Teacher Jade? Now, class, based on the video, what have you observed? Yes, Desiree?
I observed that the nail
I'm sorry?
I've observed that the nail attracted the beetle.
All right, so that is correct. Very good. That is a good observation there, Desiree. So, based on the video, the nail actually attracts the paper clips. That is because the person in the video just created an electromagnet. So, next slide, Teacher Jade. So, when we say electromagnets, anyone who wants to read? Yes, Yurian?
Electromagnets, a type of magnet that is created by passing an electric current through a coil of wire, made of a coil of wire with a core, usually iron. The strength can be increased by increasing the number of wire and increasing the current flowing through the wire.
All right, thank you so much. So, an electromagnet is a special type of magnet that only works when the electricity is flowing. So, once you disconnect the battery, just like what you saw in the video, if you're going to disconnect the battery there, the magnetism will disappear. But once you connect the battery, then that's the time that um, the nail or the object will attract the paper clips or something that is on the table, or that is on um like just like what in the video, just like the paper clip. So again, electromagnets are made of a coil of wire wrapped around a core, so usually iron or nail. So we can actually make them stronger by as what Urian said, by increasing the number of wire and increasing the current flowing through the wire. So now let's take a look at some important uses of electromagnets. So can we please next slide, Teacher Jade? All right, thank you so much. So we have here magnetic cranes. So I think it was if I was not wrong, it was mentioned by Teacher Ruby, or it's the MRI. But anyways, so when we say magnetic cranes, so this is used in scrap yards to lift heavy metals. So have you ever seen a big claw picking up cars like in a junkyard or in a street? Top heart if you have. All right, so thank you so much. So basically, that is an example of electromagnet. So it only grabs metals when electricity is on, and it lets go when electricity is turned off. So we also have here the magnetic separator. So the magnetic separators are used in industries to remove unwanted metals, so to keep the objects clean and safe. And then we also have MRI machines. So this was mentioned by Teacher Ruby earlier. Next slide, please. So when we say MRI machines, so these creates detailed images of the human body. So in here, when the doctor needs to see inside of our bodies, they use a giant electromagnet that is an MRI machine. So it helps take a clear photos of our bones, our muscles, and organs without any pain. And then we also have the maglev trains. So the maglev trains, they use electromagnets to levitate and move at high speed. So um, these trains use electromagnets in a way to lift of the tracks and glide smoothly without friction, and making the travel faster and quieter. And then we also have next slide, please. All right. So, since we are done with the applications of electromagnets, or what they call this, the important uses of electromagnets, then we are going to move to the electricity as well. So everyone, for your information, electricity is useful, but it can also be dangerous if not handled correctly. So here on your screen you can see are the common electrical hazards that you should be aware of. So we have here electric shock. So when we say electric shock, it happens when we touch a broken wire or plug with wet hands. And then we also have short circuits. So when we say short circuits, it is when wires are damaged and the electricity can take the wrong path and it causes sparks. And then we also have here the fire hazards due to overloading circuits. So in here, um, based on what's on the screen. So overloaded overloaded circuits or overloading circuits. So meaning there are too many plugs in one outlet. So when there are too many plugs in one outlet, it will be very dangerous because it will start a fire because in one if you are going to plug in one outlet, it can cause the outlet um to what do you call this, to make it can cause the outlet to become hot, and then it will start a fire. So basically it will cause sparks just like in the short circuit. So on the next slide, there are some important safety tips that we need or we must follow to protect ourselves. Teacher Jade, can you please next slide? Yeah, so these are the important safety tips for us to protect ourselves and our home from electrical hazards. So, um, Teacher Jade, can you please next slide? All right, thank you so much. So, again, these are the important safety tips to protect ourselves and our home as well from electrical hazards. So, we have the first one. Anyone wants to read? Yes, Joyce?
First is to avoid plugging too many devices into one outlet.
All right, thank you so much. And then, can you please read as well the remaining bullets?
Oh, sorry. Second, use fuses and circuit breakers for protection. Next is match appliances with the correct voltage. And lastly, inspect electrical wiring regularly.
All right, thank you so much, Joyce. So remember, class, that as we all know, electricity is very useful, but we must use it safely. So, since Joyce already mentioned those safety hazards or the safety tips on how to protect ourselves, now it's my time to ask who can tell me or who can share with us or with the class one safety tips or one safety rule that we should always follow. Anyone who wants to share their idea on how to protect ourselves as well from electrical hazards, like that. Yes, Valerie, do you have any idea?
Um, do not touch if your hands are wet, teacher.
Yes, good job. So we should avoid touching any electrical wires if our hands are wet. So anyone, do you have any idea as well? Yes, Ramal?
Wear PPE, teacher.
Very good. That is also one important rule in making ourselves safe towards electrical hazard. So do you anyone who wants to add? All right. So I guess um no one or have the idea now. So thank you so much, Valerie and Romel, for sharing your ideas on how to keep ourselves safe from electrical hazards. So to sum it up, class, today we have learned electromagnets are very powerful, especially in using cranes, MRI machines, trains, and factories. We also discussed how to stay safe when dealing with electricities. Apologies if we got interrupted earlier. So again, um, great job, Valerie and Romel. All of your answers are correct. So, thank you for sharing your tips on how to protect ourselves and our home from electrical hazards. So, remember, class, that um, electricity is useful. So, therefore, we useful, but it can be dangerous as well. So, therefore, we must handle it correctly, and we should be aware of those safety tips in order for us to keep ourselves and our family and our homes safe. So, to sum it up, today we actually learned that electromagnets are powerful tools used in cranes. And we also have mentioned the MRI machines, the trains, and the factories. And we also have discussed how to stay safe when dealing with electricity. And Valerie and Romel added some important safety tips as well. So always remember to follow those safety rules at home and at school. So again, great job everyone. So keep exploring the wonders of science. So that will be the end of my discussion about electricity and magnetism. And at this time, let me call on Teacher Jenny to continue with the discussion.
All right, thank you, Teacher Karil. So when I say students, students, you say yes, yes, teacher. All right, understand? Please react hard if I am understood. All right, thank you so much. Students, students.
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
Yes,
teacher.
yes.
All right, thank you. So hello again, class. So before we start to the next topic, we have here an activity for you to have an idea of what is our next topic. So who wants to? Next slide, please. Picture. All right. So who wants to answer for the first picture? All right, I see the hand of Valerie May.
Lever, teacher.
Let's check if it is lever. Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. All right, Valerie, you are correct. That is a lever. So next slide, please. So now for the second picture, who wants to answer? I see the hand of Arcilio. All right, Mariel, can you please answer? What is the picture shown on your screen? All right, I guess Mariel have a internet connection problem, so I will just pick another student. So, Romel, can you state what is the picture on your screen?
Screw teacher.
Very good. That is a next slide, please. That is a screw. That is correct. So for the last picture, Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. All right. So who wants to answer for this one? I see the hand of Chris Aibo.
Ulay, teacher.
Again?
Ulay, teacher.
Let's check if you are correct. Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. All right, you are correct. So now, class, since you already answered the activity, I want you to think what is our topic for today or the next topic for today. All right, I see the hand of Pat Pat. What do you think is our next topic?
Simple machines, teacher.
All right, let's check. Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. All right, very good. For now, we have the lesson 5, which is the energy transformation in simple machines. So next slide, please. All right. So what is energy transformation? So I want you to turn on your mic and read what is on your screen.
The process of changing
The
one
practice
form of energy into one other to
to perform work.
All right, thank you, class. So when we say energy transformation, it is a process of converting one form of energy into another to make things work. So class, this happens all around us every day. It can be in your home, it can be in the road, or it can be also in your school. So now let's proceed with the types of energy in simple machines. So we have three types of energy in simple machines. All right, so when we say energy transformation, it is a process of converting one form of energy into another to make things work. So class, this happens all around us every day. So it can be on your home, on the street, and it can also be in your school. So now, next slide please, Teacher Jade. So this one is another example of the energy transformation. So based on what you see on your screens right now, what do you think the girl is doing? Raise your virtual hand if you want to answer. All right, I see the hand of Naldoza.
She is in a dark place, teacher, and holding a flashlight.
Very good. So when the girl turns on the flashlight, the chemical energy stored in the batteries transform into electrical energy. So next slide, please. All right. So which becomes the light energy that help her see in the dark. So that is an example of energy transformation. So next slide, please. So now, let's proceed with the types of energy in simple machines. So who wants to read what's on the screen? So I see the hand of Christina.
Types of energy in simple machines: kinetic energy, potential energy, and mechanical energy.
All right, thank you so much. So we have three types of energy in simple machines. We have the kinetic energy. So next slide, please. All right, so when we say kinetic energy, it is a energy of motion. So any moving object has kinetic energy class, so which increases with speed and mass. So what is your observation about the example of kinetic energy on the screen? So I see the hand of Grishel.
A man riding a bicycle, teacher.
Very good. So now, when you ride a bike and start pedaling, your movement generates kinetic energy, making the bike move. So now, for the second one, the potential energy. So when we say potential energy, it is a energy stored that has potential to do work. So it depends on the object with its position or condition. So based on what do you observe on the example of potential energy on your screen? So I see the hand of Itorma Kathleen.
A woman holding a rubber band, teacher.
All right, that is a correct. A stretch rubber band stores potential energy class, so which turns into motion, which is the kinetic energy when it is already released. So for the last one, type of the energy, which is the mechanical energy, it is the total energy of the kinetic plus potential energy an object has due to its motion and position. So what do you observe on the picture on the screen? So I see the hand of Jonaline.
The man pushes the swing, teacher.
Very good. So when you push a swing, it moves back and forth using mechanical energy, which is the combination of the motion, which represents the kinetic, and the height represents the potential energy. So, Teacher Char.
All right. Am I audible at your end, class? Kindly top any
Yes,
reactions.
teacher.
All right. So thank you so much. So again, good morning, everyone. So since Teacher Jen talked about what is energy transformation, I will talk about or define what is simple machine. But before we define simple machine, let's unpack first or define what is a machine, teacher. So, next slide, please. Next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, so can I have someone to read what's on the screen? All right, so I see the hand of Igay Generos.
What is machines? Machines is an item or mechanical device that takes in energy in the form of work and sends it as work.
All right, so thank you so much. So machines is an item or mechanical device. So anyone who can give me another definition of machine? So I see the hand of, just for a minute, Micaela Dacolio.
For me, teacher, another definition of a machine, I'm sorry, I think machines are tools that makes our life easier.
Yes, thank you so much, Micaela. So this time, machines are tools that make our lives easier. So, by using machines, we exert less effort and we can save our time and energy. So, can someone give an example of a machine? All right, so can I have the hand of Talibutab?
Example teacher is a robot teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one. So can I have the hand of Montemayor?
Tricycle or cars teacher.
Yes, that's a machine also. Very good. And another one, last one. Can I have the hand of Greshel May Togonon?
A can opener and scissor teacher.
All right, very good. So another question, class. Where can we usually find a machine? All right, so can I have the hand of Kilario?
In the hospital teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one. Where can we find a machine? Can I have the hand of Arcelio?
We can also see at the school teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one, last. Can I have the hand of Santosidad?
Another example teacher is in our home teacher.
Yes, very good. So, class, we can find machines in school, in our homes, hospitals, and everywhere. So, thank you so much. So, since we know that is what is machine, let me introduce to you the two types of machine. So, next slide, please. Teacher Jade. So there are two types of machine. First machine is the simple machine, and the second is compound machine. So next slide, please. All right, so can I have someone to read what's in the screen? All right, can I have the hands of Racho Genevieve?
What are simple machines? So, devices that make work easier by changing the direction or amount of force.
Yes, that is a simple machine. A simple machine is a devices that make work easier by changing the direction or amount of force. So, anyone who can give or explain what is a simple machine in your own words? Can I have Naldoza?
Simple machine teachers are those simple tools that multiply the amount of force to make a work easier.
All right, very good, Naldoza. So simple machines are simple tools that helps us in our everyday life. So for example of the simple machines are the lever, screw, wedge, and wheel and axle. So now, what is simple machine again? Can you unmute your mic? Say it together.
Simple machines are devices that make work easier by changing the direction of force.
All right, so thank you so much. So class, uh, let's proceed to the second type of machine. So next slide, please. Teacher Jade. All right, so what are compound machines? So compound machines is a device made up of two or more simple machines working together to accomplish tasks. So who among here can give examples of compound machines? Okay, can I have the hand of Saldua?
A bicycle, teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one? Okay, can I have the hand of Pacaldo?
Scissors, teacher.
Yes, very good. So, those things that you can see on your screen beside is the example of compound machine. So remember that compound machine is a device that made up of two or more simple machines that working together to accomplish a task. So all right. So since our topic is all about energy transformation in simple machine, we will talk what are those simple machines and their energy transformation. So, question. Next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, so the 6 simple machines and their energy transformation. So we have, can I have a hand to read this 6 kinds of simple machine? All right, can I have Maris Jenilen?
Okay, so simple machines and their energy transformation, we have the lever, pulley, wheel and axle, inclined planes, wedge, and screws.
All right, thank you so much. So teacher, how does it works? So in order for us to answer that question, let's define first work and resistance. So next slide, please. So anyone, this is the inclined plane, the wedge, lever, wheel and axle, screw, and the pulley. Next slide, please. So the question is, how does it work, teacher? So in order for us to answer that question, let's define first work and resistance. So next slide, please. Teacher Jade. All right, so thank you. So work is the effort you put in. Remember that work is the effort, the force you put in, and resistance is the work that has to be done to move an item. Again, resistance is the work that has to be done to move an item. Next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, so may I call on Teacher Jen? Teacher Jen?
All right, thank you, Teacher Charb. So now, let's talk about what is lever in simple machine. So I want you to please turn on your mic and everybody read. 1, 2, 3, turn on your mic.
Lever.
Lever.
All right, thank you, class. So when we say lever, it is a simple machine that helps us lift or move objects easily. So class, I have here a video of my own sample of lever. So please watch and observe. Teacher Jade, next slide please. All right, thank you so much, Teacher Jade. So now, what I did in the video is I placed the pentel pen, this one, the pen, which represents the fulcrum on the flat surface, like this, on the flat surface. And then I lay the ruler, which represents the level arm on the top of the pentel pen, and I put the eraser, which represents the load on one side of the ruler. So now, based on what you observed in my video, what do you notice? Does it make lifting easier? So if yes, please react heart. If no, please react sad. All right, I see a lot of heart react. So I guess it makes lifting easier because you tap a lot of hearts. Now, what happened when I push the ruler? When I push the ruler like this, like on the video. So I see the hand of Naldoza.
When you push the ruler, teacher, the eraser lifted up.
Very good. The eraser will lift. Now, how does the position of the fulcrum affect and how easy it is to lift the eraser? Who wants to answer? I see the hand of Iturma.
If the fulcrum is closer to the load, it becomes easier to lift it with less effort.
Very good. So Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. So now class, there are three classes of levers. So who wants to read what's on the screen? I see the hand of Arcilio Mariel.
The three classes of levers: class lever or fulcrum in the middle, second class lever load in the middle, and then the third class lever effort in the middle.
All right, so thank you, Mariel, for reading that one. So now when we say first class lever, next slide please. It is when the fixed points where the lever moves. So this type of lever, as you can see in the picture, it changes the direction to the force applied. So meaning when you push down to the other side, will lift up. So next slide please. So class, who among you can tell me what are the objects on the screen that you see? I see the hand of Maria Kyle.
It is a crowbar and a scissor, teacher.
Let's see if it is the crowbar and the scissor. Next slide, please. So, very good. It is indeed a crowbar and the scissors. So, crowbar is an example of first class lever because here in the fulcrum, it is near the load making prying easier. So, as well as scissors, it is also an example of first class lever because the pivot is the fulcrum that handles apply effort and blades cut the load. So next slide please. All right, for the second one, which as which is the second class lever, or also called as the load in the middle. So as you can see in the picture, it is where the object are trying to lift or move. So this setup allows a small effort to lift a heavier load, making work easier. So next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, thank you so much. So class, who among you can tell me what are the objects on the screen? I see the hand of, Desiree.
It is a nutcracker and a bottle opener, teacher.
Let's check if it is nutcracker and the bottle opener. Next slide, please. Very good. So the nutcracker class, the nut that represents the load is positioned between the pivot point, or also known as the fulcrum, and applied to the force. And when you say bottle opener, the edge of the bottle cap is represents as the load, and the effort applied lift it off. So next slide, please. So for the last class levers, which is the effort in the middle, as you can see on the picture, the force you apply to move something. So in this case, the effort in the middle with the fulcrum on the other side and the load on the other, this setup allows greater speed and movement, but more force is needed. So next slide, please. All right, so who among you here can tell me what is the object on the screen? I see the hand of, let me call, Bardon.
I can see the broom and the fishing rod, teacher.
Let's see if it is broom and the fishing rod. Teacher Jade, please turn to the next page. All right, very good. It is a broom and a fishing rod. So, broom is an example of, is a part of the third class lever because one hand acts like a fulcrum and the middle of the hand applies the force. And the bristles move dust, which is the dust represents the load. And the fishing rod, which is the bottom hand of the fulcrum, the blue one represents the fulcrum. The middle hand, which is the color brown, represents the force, and the fish represents, the fish being pulled represents the load. So always remember, class, levers helps us lift heavy things with less efforts. By changing the position of the fulcrum, we can make lifting even easier. So that's why we use levers in many tools like scissors. So next slide, Teacher Charv.
All right, thank you so much, Teacher Jen. So let's proceed to Pole. Next slide, please. So everybody read what's on your screen. Can you unmute your mic? All right, so thank you so much. A pole is a wheel on axles that is designed to rotate with movement of a cable along a groove at its circumference. So pulleys are used to change the directions of a force, although others can be used in variety of ways to lift a load. So example machines that have pulleys is construction cranes. So anyone who can give another example of a pulley? Can I have a hand, please? All right, so I see the hand of Aibo.
Well, teacher.
Yes. Another one. Can I have the hands of Tugunon?
Elevators, teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one. Can I have the hand of Arcelio?
Exercise equipment, teacher.
Yes, very good. So elevators use multiple pulleys in order to function, and they exercise equipment too, and the wheel also. So next slide, please. Teacher Jade, next slide, please. So a basic pulley system consists of a pulley, a rope, or a cable, and a load. So next slide, please. All right, so class, there are three types of pulleys. So fixed pulleys, movable pulleys, and compound pulleys. So next slide. Next slide, please. All right, so class, this is what pulleys look like. Next slide, please. So let's proceed with the first pulley, which is, next slide, please, Teacher Jade. Yes, thank you so much. So the first pulley is a fixed pulley. So it's a pulley that is mounted on a fixed point. So a fixed pulley is a simple machine that consists of wheel on an axles or shaft designed to support movement and change the directions of a force. So it is called fixed because it is attached to a structure. So anyone who could or who would like to give example for the fixed pulleys? Can I have the hand of Macy Manatad?
Window blinds, teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one. Another one. So anyone who can give examples of fixed pulleys? All right. So since for example of a fixed pulleys, a flagpole. So a flagpole set up, a rope is threaded through a fixed pulley located at the top of the pull. So when you pull down on the rope, the flag is lifted upward, and the pulley allow you to pull downwards, which changes the directions of the force and effectively raises the flag without needing to lift it directly by yourself upwards. So, all right. So this time, let's proceed to the next pulley. So next slide, please. Say, all right. So everyone, can you read what's on your screen?
Movable
Movable
pulleys.
pulley reduces the load, reducing the work needed to lift the load, but carrying the load alone resistance.
All right, thank you so much, class. So movable pulley is a type of pulley that is not fixed in one place. Instead, it moves with the load being lifted. So example for a movable pulley is a sailboat system. So some sailboats use movable pulley to adjust the sails and manage their position with less force. So next slide, please. Next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, so thank you so much. So the last pulleys, types of pulleys is compound pulleys. So a pulley, also known as a block and tackle, is a combination of fixed and movable pulley. So compound pulleys is significantly reduce the amount of effort need to lift heavy weights. So the more pulleys included in the system, the less force is required to lift the load. So Teacher Jen?
All right, thank you, Teacher Char. Please turn to the next page, please. Next slide, Teacher Jade. All right. So class, what do you think these objects are? Can you please name the 4 objects you see on your screen? Anyone? All right. Faith?
I can see a bicycle, teacher, a toy car, a rolling pin, and a doorknob.
All right, very good. So what do these objects have in common? Anyone? Please raise your virtual hand if you want to answer, or else I will call names. All right, Arcilio Mayril.
They all have part that turns, teacher.
Very good. So next slide, please. All right, so when we say wheel and axle, it is a simple machine where a wheel attached to a central rod, making movement easier by reducing friction or increasing force, and made up of 2 parts, which is the wheel and the axle. So when we say wheel, it is a round object that spins, and while the axle, it is a rod that helps the wheel turn. So the wheel rotates around the axle, making movement easier. So instead of dragging objects, we roll them. So class, I have here another video of my own wheel and axle. So this is only a sample. So I want you to watch and observe the video. So next slide, please. All right, thank you, Teacher Jade. So based on the video that Teacher Jade played, what do you notice when I roll the wheel and the axle? All right, I see the hand of Maria Kyle.
Based on the video, teacher, the wheel is it moves smoothly and easily, teacher.
All right, very good. And now, how is this different from sliding something? All right, Aibo.
It is different, teacher, because rolling is easier because it doesn't get stuck like sliding, teacher.
Very good. So next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right. So I have here another examples of wheel and axle. So who can tell me what things you see on your screen? I see the hand of Racho.
I can see Ferris wheel and windmill, teacher.
Let's check if it is Ferris wheel and windmill. Next slide, please. All right, very good. That is correct. So, Ferris wheel is also a part of wheel and axle because the wheel, as you can see, rotates around the central axle, which moving the passenger's cabins. So, in windmill also, it is part of wheel and axle because its blades represents the wheel that spins around the central shaft and the axle to generate power. So always remember, class, when we say wheel and axle, it is a simple machines that helps things move easily by rolling instead of sliding. So Teacher Char.
All right, thank you so much, Teacher Jan. So next slide, please. So now let's proceed with inclined plane. So inclined plane reduces force needed to lift an object. So inclined plane are simple machine that reduce the force required to move object. So to move the object vertically. So they can be found in ramps, slides, and even in stairs. So observe the picture below, class. So the weight of the box sitting on the inclined plane is the resistance. And the amount of effort needed would have to be equal to its weight. But if there is no friction, it takes less effort to move the box. So anyone who can give example of an inclined plane that we have used in our real life? So can I have Igay?
A water slide, teacher.
Yes, very good. A water slide is one of the real life things that we use. So it is an inclined plane. So anyone who can give another example? Another example for inclined plane. Yes, Aibo?
Example teacher is our roof teacher. Roof of the house.
Yes, exactly. Very good. All right. So next slide, please. Next slide, please, Teacher Jade. All right, so class, this is the examples of an inclined plane. So we have the skateboard ramp, slide, water slide, funnel, roof, and road ramp. So next slide, please. So Teacher Jen.
All right, so let's proceed to the wedge. I think this is the fifth simple machine. So, all right, class, please turn on your mic and everybody read what is wedge. All right, thank you so much. When we say wedge, it is a simple machine that helps cutting, splitting, or pushing objects apart by concentrating force at its sharp edge. So, when we say wedge, it's transformed force applied on its wide end into a stronger, focusing on force at the tip and making cutting or splitting easier. So, next slide please. I have prepared a sample video about wedge. Next slide please, Teacher Jade. Previous slide. Okay, thank you so much. So based on your observation, class, on the video that Teacher Jade I presenting, what do you notice about the knife when it cuts through the object? And how does the sharp edge of the knife help it to cut easily? All right, I see the hand of Manatad. Is Manatad around? All right, I will just choose another one. All right, Book. All right, I guess Book is not around. I will just call Montemayor. Excuse me, class. Can you hear me?
Yes, teacher.
All right. Is Montemayor around? All right. I will just call.
Teacher,
all right. Please proceed.
Sorry, teacher. I have a problem connection.
It's okay. What's your answer? Again, I will repeat the question. What do you notice about the knife when it cuts through the object? And how does the sharp edge of the knife help it to cut easily?
The knife
cuts easily because of its sharp edge, teacher. And then the sharp edge is like the tip of a wedge.
Okay, thank you so much, Bebe J. So next slide, please. Next slide, teacher Noreen. Next slide. All right. So, can you name other tool or objects that act wedges? Give me at least two. Okay, Madison. Previous slide,
I
teacher J.
think it's ice pick picker and a pizza cutter.
Very good, teacher Jade. Previous slide, please. Previous. All right. So since teacher Jade revealed the answer, I will just next slide, please. Teacher Jade, next slide, please. All right. So when we say the first picture shown as the axe. So who has seen someone chopping firewood, and how does the axe help? So who wants to answer? I see the hand of Ria and Saldua.
The axe cuts the wood in half, teacher.
Very good. An axe has a sharp edge that focuses force, making it easier to split wood into smaller pieces. Teacher Jade, next slide, please. Go back to the boxes. All right, since you already revealed the answer, I will just discuss what are the objects shown in the screen. So the next picture is nail. So have you ever seen a carpenter hammering a nail into wood, and how does a nail help? All right, I see the hand of Igay.
It helps penetrate surfaces easily.
All right, very good. So the pointed tip of a nail makes it a wedge. It concentrates force into one spot, making it easier to push, like this, to push into wood or the walls. So the third picture is chisel. So when we say chisel, it is how do sculptures carve beautiful designs from wood or the stones? I see the hand of Erica.
Sculptors teacher use chisel to make small cuts to shape the design.
All right, so the sharp edge of the chisel acts as a wedge. So it helps remove small pieces of materials to create shapes. And for the last picture, which is the needle, have you ever tried threading a needle, class? So why do you think the tip is sharp? So I will call again Buok.
Yes, teacher, it helps the needle helps to go through the cloth when you're sewing.
Very good. So the pointed end of a needle helps it burst fabric easily. So it is just like how a nail penetrates a wood. So class, always remember all of the objects that you see on your screen helps us cut, split, or penetrate material. So these are all examples of simple machine that is what we call the wedge. So teacher Charv.
All right. So next slide, please, teacher Jade. So class, do you have screws in your home? Yes or no? Or you can tap
Yes,
any reactions if you do have.
Sure.
All right, so thank you so much. So this time, let's define what is screw. So screw converts rotational force into linear motion. So screw or inclined planes wrapped around a cylindrical post. The thread of a screw helps in lifting or holding objects. So class, I have here, I don't know if you see this. So I have here a lotion and I will rotate the cup of the lotion, and this part of the lotion is the thread of the screw. So this is helps us in lifting or holding the object. So anyone who can give us some examples of things that have screw? Since you said that you have screws in your home, so who can give examples? So may I have the hand of Villa Hermosa?
The head of the bulb teacher.
Yes, very good. Another one? Can anyone give some examples of screws? All right, so Aibo. And lastly,
Water bottle teacher.
all right, thank you so much. And lastly, Arcelio.
The lock of the tumbler teacher.
Yes, very good. Exactly. That is a screw. So next slide, please. Teacher Jade, next slide, please. So class, remember that screws are very useful in construction and woodworking, fastening and assembly, plumbing and piping, electrical and electronic devices, medical devices and equipment, and manufacturing and machinery. So class, it's a wrap with our topic for the group 2. So teachers, can we sing goodbye to them?
All right, Teacher Jade, next slide, please.
May I request to all teachers? All right, so 1, 2, 3, go. See you later. Thank you so much, class. Have a good day.